Ethanol absorbs water and harms boat engines. No. Any water in the fuel system is an issue for boaters operating on pure gasoline. Ethanol provides some relief. If you get too much water in the fuel, it's going to be a problem whether you're running on gasoline or on an ethanol gasoline blend. Ethanol ruins small engines. Well, small engines are calibrated. Small engines, when I say small engines, I mean lawnmowers, weed whackers, things that, engines that don't have, in a car we have closed loop control systems where you have an oxygen sensor that's automatically adjusting fueling, whether you have 0% ethanol or 10% or 15% ethanol. Small engines do not. They're running on a fixed calibration. However, those calibrations are very rich so that the fuel can aid with cooling. Because your lawnmower, you're running at wide open throttle all the time, right? First thing you do is start it up and give it full throttle and you just go. So they're calibrated very rich. Ethanol does reduce the amount of excess fuel, but also provides enhanced cooling through the increased heat of vaporization, what we were talking about earlier. So therefore, E10 to E15 blends have very little net effect on small engine reliability. You don't have to go pay the $3.38 a gallon for ethanol-free gasoline for your lawnmower. You'll work just fine just putting the E10 or E15 in it.
But they do say right now not to do that. They advertise that everywhere.
Who is advertising that?
Well, the people that are selling the small engines, there's lawnmower.
That's a lot of those advertisements. If you look who's really behind them, it's not the engine manufacturer. When you dig down far enough, it's either going to be an additive, some kind of additive manufacturing company, or there's going to be a petroleum backbone that's supporting that. And people that do say that, there are people that say that, but it goes back to the story we heard earlier about they're just regurgitating what they've heard. That's not.
Dr. Andy, just
yes.
to make an add on to that point, I have a Mercury Marine presentation that actually says E10 is a better fuel for their engines than E0. Just because what Dr. Andy's been saying about phase separation and everything else. So he's right. It's not necessarily the small engine manufacturers. Every engine, small or big, in this country is warranted for 10% ethanol use. Every one of them.
The other problem you have, that hopefully this is another legislative hurdle, is when you're a small engine manufacturer and you go to have your engine certified. Those engines are all certified with E0. So the calibrations, the factory calibrations of these engines revolve around E0. But what is it, 98% of the fuel in the country that's sold is E10? Yeah. So one of the things that would help immensely is if the government would finally say, hey, we're going to certify these engines on E10. So therefore, the certification and the use match each other. Because right now there's a mismatch there.
If I was to buy a snowblower right now in Canada, there would be a tag on the gas tank saying, no E10, no ethanol blend gas at all. And that's what's sad, because if it is, you are saying what it is. We're actually directed in the wrong way by strong force.
But once again, in Canada, I suspect it's probably the same thing, where the certification of the engines that are in those devices are performed with E0, which is I know there's a lot of people in Growth Energy. That's one of the things they're working on, is getting that fixed.
Canada is now going to E10 national standards.
Good.